What's up, everybody? My name's Eli, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about another trending topic in dentistry, and that's oil pulling. Yes, oil pulling. I'm finally speaking on it. People have been leaving comments on my TikTok, on my YouTube, asking me my thoughts about it. And usually I refrain from talking about such controversial topics, but not anymore. Again, just like with the veneer tech video, I want to talk more about these viral topics in dentistry for a few different reasons. Number one, I want to inform the general public and my community about these topics. And number two, I want to keep you all from being led astray. I'm still kind of getting used to the fact that I'm like the dentist for some people. And when I say that, I mean some people come to me as their source of information for things that are going on in the dental field. I'm still kind of getting used to this whole like influencer label or whatever you want to call it. If you've watched my channel before, you know I kind of hate that label. However, I'm leaning into my role as someone who informs people who are not as well informed. And I think I really realized that when I had that TikTok go viral like earlier this year or late last year, when I was talking about my frenectomy and my fixed retainer and my whole like braces journey. And a lot of people were commenting like just trying to find out information about like braces, etc. So anyway, let's talk about oil pulling. I see this come up on my TikTok all the time, not as much anymore. And I see some of the most ridiculous things said about oil pulling and its ability to reverse cavities, I needed a root canal and then I started oil pulling and now I don't need it anymore. The dentist was so shocked, etc., etc. Let's talk about it. So the reason why I decided to make this video is because earlier this month, I was actually reading an article published in the ADA journal, and it was called Oil Pulling. Do dentists think it's worth trying? The ancient Ayurvedic practice of, I don't think I'm saying that right. Essentially, oil pulling is an ancient practice that involves swishing edible oil around in your mouth for a few minutes and spitting it out. Most commonly, people use coconut oil or sesame oil. It comes along with this idea that it helps whiten your teeth, reverse tooth decay, etc. So in the article, I'm going to read straight from it so I don't misquote it or anything like that. The article says, there's been claims of whitening teeth, reversing tooth decay, and treating oral health conditions. Then the ADA News article went on to say that there are no reliable scientific studies that show oil pulling reduces cavities, whitens teeth, or improves oral health, but it could help remove debris and there are minimal potential side effects. So I also decided to do a little bit more research on my own. I went to an article that I found on the NIH database, and I know reading is a lost art in today's society, so I did the hard part and I'm going to break down what the article says for you guys. But I think what's very, very important is that when it comes to topics like oil pulling or really anything involved in the world of medicine and dentistry, you can't always rely on what you see on a quick Google search. These topics are things that have been researched by professors, dentists, doctors around the world, and they put time and effort into this research and they publish this research in scientific journals. I found this article from the International Journal of Health Sciences published in 2017 by Dr. Hesham Khalil. It's called Oil Pulling and the Importance of Traditional Medicine in Oral Health Maintenance. Now the article goes to break down some of the history of oil pulling. Oil pulling has been around for 3,000 to 5,000 years now, according to the article. It's an ancient Indian or Hindu practice that, of course, has since spread out throughout the world. And this article was pretty much a review article that looked at other scientists' research and the things that they found, etc. There were a few things that I pulled from the article that I thought were important to share with you all. Again, I'm going to read it straight from the article. You can't see, but I have my computer right here. I just want to mention that before you see me looking down, but I think it's very important that I don't misquote the article as I'm trying to tell you all this information. Some things that I pulled from the article is the procedure. Oil pulling is performed preferably in the morning on an empty stomach. 1 tablespoon of sesame oil, being the recommended dose for adults, is sipped and swished between the teeth for a duration of approximately 15 to 20 minutes and spat out. Number one, that's a long time. I don't know, that's a lot of swishing, and that's a lot of time. But anyway, swishing the oil for the recommended duration in the oral cavity changes the viscosity of the oil, which turns milky white with a thin consistency. Swallowing the oil should be avoided as it may have toxins and bacteria, which are harmful to the general health. This should be followed by rinsing, conventional toothbrushing, and flossing. The practice should preferably be performed 3 times daily for acute diseases. While there are no suggested contraindications, it is not advisable for children below the age of 5 to perform oil pulling. While there are numerous theories, the exact mechanism of action is unclear. One theory speculates a mechanism involving alkali hydrolysis of fat, resulting in saponification or soap making process. Since the oils used for oil pulling contain fat, the alkali hydrolysis process emulsifies the fat into bicarbonate ions normally found in the saliva. Essentially, you're washing your mouth. It's like mouthwash. Let's just put it that way. Again, the article goes on to mention that sesame oil and coconut oil are probably the 2 main oils that are used for oil pulling. And then I went on to the section of the article that's titled Effects of Oil Pulling on Oral Health. So it starts with dental caries. And I think that one part of the article that mentions something very important that I also see is kind of being misconstrued on TikTok is something that I want to talk about. So this section of the article says, oil pulling is shown to have an antibacterial activity against C. albicans and S. mutans using coconut oil, while sesame oil also has a similar activity against S. mutans and lactobacilli. Following a 40-day regimen of oil pulling, an average reduction of 20% was observed in the total microbial count in the oral cavity. Similarly, another study testing the susceptibility to dental caries before and after oil pulling showed that in 50% of subjects, the susceptibility was reduced from marked to slight, whereas in the other 50% of the subjects, susceptibility reduced from marked to moderate. So, let's break this down. These bacterial species that the article mentioned are things that we learn about in school that are known to cause gingivitis, tooth decay, etc. What the article is saying is that oil pulling can help reduce the number of bacteria in your mouth. Okay, so now let's follow the flow chart here. You have bacteria that causes dental diseases like dental caries, gingivitis, etc. Right? When this bacteria gets onto the tooth, when you go for long periods of time without brushing your teeth and you eat certain foods that are sticky, that are acidic, these bacteria can cause the breakdown of your teeth, also known as tooth decay. Oil pulling is not going to undo the tooth decay. It may reduce the number of bacteria so that it cannot progress, but it cannot reverse. Fluoride, hydroxyapatite, these are the things that help remineralize your teeth. Oil, I'm not seeing anything that's letting me know it's doing that. Now, I do firmly believe that it can reduce the bacteria in your mouth. I think that this makes sense. What I'm seeing from the practice of it and how things work, I think that this makes sense. However, I think it's very important that we debunk this myth that you can reverse cavities or things like that. I'm not seeing anything to support that. Moving on, the conclusion of the article says, oil pulling therapy is a form of Ayurvedic, I'm definitely mispronouncing that, procedure that promotes good oral and systemic health through incorporating the use of oil-based oral rinses in the daily oral hygiene routine. Numerous studies have been conducted recently supporting this ancient technique for its health benefits. For modern day practices, oil pulling can be suggested for adjunct use with both brushing and flossing to maintain the standard oral health care. In developing countries and rural communities, access to oral care is minimal, And the use of toothbrushes, toothpaste, and mouthwashes are still not accessible in all cases. Therefore, oil pulling can serve as an affordable option and improve oral health outcomes. So, slams laptop shut. What does all this mean? I personally don't think oil pulling is harmful. I think that there are minimal side effects. As long as you're not swallowing it, you're probably in pretty good shape. However, oil pulling is for adjunct use, meaning is to be used in conjunction with brushing, flossing, mouthwash, not as a replacement. If you are traveling down the rabbit hole of oil pulling and you see that it does all these things, try it. Why not? Try it. However, remember that you still need to brush, floss, use mouthwash, etc. And most likely, this is what's doing more good for your oral health than the oil pulling. Now, another thing that the article says, as I reluctantly reopened my laptop after I slammed it shut, because of the ability to remove this bacteria, it may be possible that oil pulling has benefits to reducing plaque-induced gingivitis, halitosis, or bad breath, and oral thrush, which is also known as candidiasis. This is, again, mainly because of the bacteria being removed and this having a benefit to your oral health. Again, however, please, when you are oil pulling, do this in conjunction with brushing your teeth, flossing, and using mouthwash. So, I hope you all learned something from this video. I know it took me forever and a day to speak on oil pulling because I honestly try to stay away from these topics as they are very controversial. However, your boy is now a fourth-year dental student. I'm stepping into that role. I'm feeling like a real dentist nowadays, you know? So, as a almost real dentist, what is my job? Inform you all. And you all can take this video and inform your friends, your partners, your peers, everything. Make yourself look smart. I read the articles for you so you don't have to. If you want to know what article I was referring, it is from the International Journal of Health Sciences, volume 11, issue 4, which is from September-October 2017. It is titled, Oil Pulling and the Importance of Traditional Medicine in Oral Health Maintenance. There are a few authors here. The research was conducted, it seems like, mostly at a College of Dentistry, King Saud University in Saudi Arabia. Wow, I don't know why I pronounced it like that. I will leave a link to this article in the description as well as a formal citation, and I'll also leave a link to the ADA Journal article so that if you do please, you can visit both of these websites and do a little reading of yourself. So, if you watched all the way through this video, what are your thoughts on oil pulling? I would love for you to leave a comment so I could read it and respond. The best way to get in touch with me, to hear from me, is to comment under the video because I read and respond to all comments. Let me know what you think about oil pulling. Have you tried it before? Should I try it? I'll be honest, I've never tried it. So let me know what you think about it. Maybe it's something that I can explore, you know, maybe do a little something on TikTok or YouTube Shorts. Who knows? Yeah, that's all I have for today's video. Thank you all for watching. If you like these videos where I talk about more trending topics in dentistry, leave a comment on some of the topics you'd like for me to speak on, and I'll try to get around to making videos. Especially in fourth year, no more classes, no more studying. I have a lot more time on my hand for y'all, so I am fully leaning into this YouTube and into my community. If y'all want to see something, leave a comment, and I'll get back to you, all right? Thanks for watching. Make sure you watch some of the dental school vlogs, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.